So, Ginger,
Yeah?
you know how we wanted to start a podcast, but we were having trouble coming up with a topic?
Yeah.
Okay, so here's my pitch. The topic of the podcast is us trying to come up with the topic for the podcast.
What? Like we pitch each other podcast ideas and that's the podcast?
Yeah, exactly. We could call it, What Should Our Podcast Be About?
Miles, that's really stupid. Let's do it.
What should this song be about? I'm trying to figure it out. What should this song be about? Could you perhaps help me out? I've had a moment of doubt. What should this song be about? Welcome to What Should Our Podcast Be About? The podcast where we try to figure out what this podcast that you're listening to right now should be about. I'm Miles Grover.
And I'm Ginger Barham.
This is our 42nd episode.
Oh, is it?
So episode number 42.
Meaning of life.
Meaning of life. The answer to the question about life, the universe, and everything, or whatever it is.
Yep. I got it tattooed on my wrist to celebrate.
To celebrate this episode.
Uh-huh.
And that's why you've had it on there for years.
That's why I knew this day would come.
Yep. Eventually we would have a podcast and it would have 42 episodes.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I had a quick correction update from our conversation last time about dachshunds. Dachshunds are badger hunting dogs, not weasel hunting dogs. I guess it means badger dog.
Dachshund means badger dog?
Apparently. And but they did go in holes to hunt the badgers. And badgers are actually relatively closely related to weasels, so it's not like too far off, but they're badger dogs.
I have a real life correction for Svetlana in case she's listening to this episode.
Okay.
It is not pronounced dachshund.
Yes, I don't know why she thinks it's dachshund, but it's not.
She says that her grandparents who have dachshunds pronounce it that way. And I was like, well, they're pronouncing it wrong if so.
Yeah, I mean, I've never heard that as a common pronunciation of it.
It just made me think of the mole in is it a mole in Winnie the Pooh that talks like, "Say, Sonny."
Oh yeah,
Is it a beaver or a mole?
I don't remember.
It burrows a lot. I think it's a mole.
So maybe it's a badger.
Maybe it's a badger. It's definitely not a dachshund.
Say, Sonny. Yes.
Say, Sonny.
Say, Sonny.
Did you see that? Did you see that dachshund?
Yeah, or it could just be Sean Connery.
Yeah.
You know, give me the dachshund.
That dachshund is unimpressive.
Those were both great
And,
Sean
yeah,
Connery
these
impressions.
are we're coming back to our episode where we just do impressions.
Bad celebrity impressions.
Bad celebrity impressions.
Speaking of things, do you have ideas?
Speaking of things, we usually are when we're speaking.
Probably. Yeah. Probably.
I do have a couple things.
You should tell them to me, or at least one of them.
No, I think I'll keep them to myself.
But the listeners are dying to know.
The two listeners.
We have more than 2. We have like 10.
We have like 10.
Maybe
We've
even,
got like 10
maybe even
followers
12.
on Threads now.
Yeah, maybe even like 12.
That brings me to my first idea.
Okay.
Ways to market our podcast.
The podcast about podcast marketing.
Podcast about podcast
Okay.
marketing. Creative marketing ideas.
Yeah, so we would just kind of brainstorm how to market our podcast better.
Yeah.
That's probably something we should do not on the mic either way. Or like we should do it one way or the other.
Yeah. How about we take out a bus stop ad?
Okay. Just one.
Just one.
At one bus stop.
One bus stop, I think, is all we can afford.
In like Wyoming or something.
Why Wyoming?
Because like 10 people live in Wyoming, so it's probably pretty cheap to advertise there.
Nope. NYC. Shoot for the stars.
Okay. I don't think we have that.
Shoot for a star.
Shoot for 1 star. That's still probably at least like 10 grand or something.
Oh, well, we can put off our bathroom remodel.
Spend our savings on that. Yeah.
Yeah.
We
This is why we need this podcast
Yeah,
idea
to figure
to
it
come
out.
up with creative ideas.
Yeah. I mean, we probably could spend a little bit of money to advertise.
Maybe we don't take out a bus stop ad. Maybe we take out a bus stop ad and just put ours in.
take out like a hitman in a movie would say
Yeah,
or something.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
So like we just graffiti.
We do our own marketing.
We just graffiti one bus stop
with our
podcast.
Well, we
name.
could graffiti it, or we could like make a sign, just slip it in there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Those probably get noticed at some point, I would think. But
yeah, when somebody else takes out a bus stop ad, but by then we will have gotten our free marketing.
Maybe.
We
Yeah.
might get in trouble.
Might get in trouble. It's definitely not legal, I'm sure. At best. Not legal at best.
We
Criminal, perhaps.
we get a paint job on our car that advertises our podcast.
Okay. So we just hope that when we're driving around, people are like, oh, I should listen to that podcast.
Yeah.
Because that jerk pulled out in front of me or whatever.
Don't like my driving? Check out my podcast.
This podcast explains why I'm bad at driving. Okay, a podcast about why we're bad at driving?
Bad at driving, the podcast. Are we bad at driving?
I don't know. Probably.
I mean, I haven't been in any accidents in like at least 10 years.
Yeah, I haven't been in any in a while either.
No, you were recently when it snowed.
Yeah, that's true. But
Yeah.
it wasn't like, it didn't count. It didn't actually do any damage.
Yeah.
So
I'm just saying, how about a podcast about how I'm the better driver?
also, well, actually, it's interesting because people tend to think of women as like worse drivers, but statistically, they're better drivers than men.
Yeah.
At least in terms of safety,
Yeah.
right? I think when people think of men being better drivers, they're more thinking about like skillfully maneuvering or something, which I don't know, maybe.
Which is probably misogynistic, right? Like there's no reason why men would be better at skillfully maneuvering than women.
No, but I mean, that does, I guess, more or less align with my experience, except for the fact that my mom and grandma are both professional drivers.
Yeah, I mean, but does it align with your experience, or has society just given you the bias that women are bad at spatial things?
No, I've definitely driven with women who felt pretty unsafe at driving and like they didn't know what they were doing. But,
Not me though.
No, you're fine. I've never had a problem with how you
I'm
drive.
a good driver.
Okay.
I'm my insurance rate is probably lower than yours.
Maybe. Yeah, I'm not sure. But what I'm saying, my point
You know, it's
to
a
that
good
is,
thing we only have 10 listeners, because I think otherwise you'd be getting a lot of angry messages.
maybe.
right
Well,
about now.
but my point is, even if that is true, which I'm not saying it is, I'm saying it
I'm saying it isn't.
okay. I'm saying it isn't out of the question that it could be true based on my experience, but I'm not saying it is true either. But what I am saying is that even if it were true, in terms of actually like measured statistics of how many people get in accidents, men get in way more accidents than women do, right? So
Yeah.
if you're looking at like a material basis for your analysis of who's better at driving, I think women pretty much have to come in first there.
Yeah.
Why were we talking about this? Because we were going to do a podcast.
about how I'm a better
Right.
driver than you are.
Okay. That's fine. I don't have any particular ego about my driving abilities. I think most people think that they're better than average drivers, like in polls and stuff, which obviously can't be true.
I think I might be a safer driver because I'm incredibly paranoid when I'm driving, because I hate driving.
Yeah.
And I don't enjoy the idea of strapping myself into a giant piece of metal and going 65 miles an hour. And I'm constantly thinking about how easily it could lead to my death. I have dreams about car crashes. So I think if I'm a better driver, it would be better to say I'm a more cautious driver.
Yeah, and that's kind of what I was saying in general. And that is a very valid way to consider better as far as how many people you're likely to injure.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But anyway, so we're going to put an advertisement about our podcast about driving on our car. That kind of maybe would work.
Yeah.
I guess it could be like how's my driving? Call this number, but it'd be like, how's my driving? Go to this URL.
Yeah.
And then they would, I guess, hopefully listen to the podcast.
Yeah. Yep.
And they'll be
Exactly.
like, when do I get to tell them they're bad? Or whatever.
We'll just keep promising that that's coming at the
Yeah.
end of the episode.
I mean,
so
we
they
do
listen
give
all
out
the
our
way to the
email
end.
address, so they could email us, I guess.
Yeah.
to let
Would we
us
put
know.
our email in the car?
I guess.
Maybe.
Maybe.
So
Okay.
yes, that's idea number one.
A
Also,
podcast about podcast marketing.
yeah.
Those do exist
Yeah.
also.
Also, it's St. Patrick's Day today.
Oh, so it is. Okay, a podcast about St. Patrick's Day.
Yep.
I don't care about St.
No,
Patrick's
I
Day.
don't care about St. Patrick's Day either.
So probably not that. Okay, cool. I had an idea for a podcast where it's a free podcast. And we just emphasize over and over how you're not paying any money for this podcast.
Isn't that all podcasts?
Yes, and that's
That's
the dumb
the joke?
joke, I guess.
Okay.
It's like, welcome to the free podcast where we don't charge any money for this podcast.
Yeah.
And you should feel good about that.
And that's the whole podcast.
I guess. I don't know. I don't have more than that for that one.
Yeah. Okay.
I just thought it was a funny idea to like.
I think that one might have the least amount of legs of any of the ideas we've had.
Oh, I don't know. That might be generous.
I literally can't think of another thing to say besides this podcast is free.
Yeah.
But if
we would just
you got more, let me know.
We would just be like, I don't know, like, how's your day?
Oh.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. It doesn't have legs. You're right.
We'd be like, you get what you pay for.
Yeah, exactly. That's
it.
the idea, right? Is like we guarantee you're gonna love this podcast or your money back. Right.
All right. I don't think that's going to be the winner this week.
Probably not. Do you have another idea?
I do.
Like an actual one, unlike my thing I just said.
A podcast where we come up with dumb game show ideas.
Okay. Dumb game show ideas, like a game changer kind of thing?
Yeah. I was thinking about game changer when I came up with this
so
one.
like, do you have an example of a dumb game show idea?
No.
Okay.
I do not.
Who wants to win a negative $1 million? And if you win, you have to pay them $1 million.
Ooh, who wants to kill a millionaire?
Okay.
That one might get us in some trouble.
Might be very illegal.
But I mean, I didn't say we had to enact these ideas. I just said we come up with game show ideas.
Okay, sure.
Could we do something else to a millionaire that wouldn't be illegal? Who wants to punch a millionaire in the face?
I feel like if we're going to go for violence, we should really ratchet it up to billionaires for
Who
one
wants
thing.
to punch a billionaire in the face?
Because like,
well, I was just playing off of who wants to be a millionaire.
be a millionaire. Is there a who wants to marry a millionaire? Is that a real thing, or did I just imagine that? I feel like maybe there was a dating show like that.
I feel like there was like a joke show or something where the guy ended up actually not being rich. I'm Googling who wants to marry a multimillionaire was a show.
They called it Who Wants to Marry a Multimillionaire?
Uh-huh.
Like nobody's going to sign up if they think he only has 1 million.
I guess.
But if he has 2 million, they're into it.
Yeah. In 2002, TV Guide ranked it number 25 on its 50 worst TV shows of all time list.
Okay, so it's right in the middle of the worst shows.
It was alleged that following the broadcast, it was alleged that the supposed multimillionaire Rick Rockwell had embellished claims about his professional and financial success, and it was subsequently found that he had been the subject of a restraining order from a previous partner, which had not been discovered by Fox during a background check.
Oh, they did a pretty bad job, I guess.
Yeah. Person that won ended up annulling her marriage to him.
Yeah.
The fact that he had like embellished his financial success seems like they really didn't even do the bare minimum, because that's the whole premise of the show.
Right, like wouldn't you at least get his bank statements or something?
Yeah,
or something? I
like,
don't know.
If the premise of your show is that somebody marries a multimillionaire, at the very least you should be making sure this person is actually a multimillionaire.
Right. Well, he said he was. You think people will just lie about that?
Yeah.
In order to gain like love? Nobody lies for that kind of reason. Yeah. Yeah. So that's already real, so it can't be a dumb joke.
I was gross. I feel gross just talking about it.
Yeah, it's a gross idea. I mean, that's what the joke is, like, who wants to marry a millionaire? Lol, that's bad. But they did that.
But they
actually
did that. So
yeah. Are there other game shows besides Who Wants to Be a Millionaire that we could riff off of?
Family Feud.
The Weakest Link.
Weakest Link.
Doctor Who kind of did this already too.
Yeah.
Where they had a future station where it was like, you're the weakest link, and it was like a robot version of that lady, and they shot him with a laser.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What other show? So let's yeah.
Price is Right.
Price is Right. Wheel of Fortune.
Jeopardy.
Jeopardy, where you like actually are in jeopardy.
Yeah. Okay.
You get it wrong, you die.
Yeah. Feels pretty like a pretty obvious idea, but yeah.
Yeah. Actually, I feel like these are good and getting like dark really quickly.
Yeah, these are all like Doctor Who episode plots or something like that episode. So maybe we should say, I feel like it should be more like Number Wang. Do you ever watch I think it was Mitchell and Webb that show with David Mitchell and Webb, whatever his first name is. They had like this fake this skit that was like a game show called Number Wang, and you would like say a number and they would go, "That's Number Wang."
Let's play Number Wang. Julie to play first.
3,
9,
16,
12,
8.2.
4.
That's Number Wang.
And that was pretty much it, but it wasn't really clear, as I recall, why it was Number Wang or not Number Wang.
Nope.
Yeah, it was stupid.
Have not seen this.
Yeah. So yeah, okay. I think this idea maybe could be something.
Yeah. Okay.
What would we do with the ideas once we have them? Like, would that show be just coming up with ideas, or would we try to
Maybe
act
we
it
talk
out or
about,
something?
maybe like we come up with a plan for actually putting it together. After that, like,
who would be
how
good
are we gonna-
contestants? Maybe.
yeah, how are we going to recruit contestants? What kind of what will our criteria be? You know, like, is it something where they need to know a lot, know very little?
Right. Okay.
Who's going to host? We can come up with who's going to host
ideas?
it.
Yeah. Sure. Okay.
Set ideas. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that could be something. Let's see. What do I
What
have?
else do you got?
Okay, so one idea I had was to come up with what our podcast should be about. We could try doing autocomplete on our phones. So I typed our podcast should be about, and these are some of the answers I got from
Okay.
my phone's auto suggest.
All right.
Our podcast should be about how the future is going to be like in the past and what it will look like.
Okay. That's nothing.
Our podcast should be about this one day soon with some great insights on how the industry has evolved over the last decade.
Nope. Not a winner.
Our podcast should be about the best in terms of quality and the most exciting things that we have ever heard of.
Nope. Also nothing.
I also tried our podcast topic should be, and I got our podcast topic should be a podcast that has a podcast.
Podcast within a podcast.
A podcast that has its own
Podcastception.
podcast. The podcast has a podcast.
Okay.
It's not a podcast
That's-
within a podcast.
That's
It's the
still not
podcast has a
anything. That's
podcast.
still not anything.
It almost feels like something, maybe. Our podcast topic should be the most interesting topic of the year. So if you have any suggestions, please let us know. That's what the auto suggest came with.
That's what we do every week.
Yep.
Please send us your ideas.
Yep. So pretty fruitful there.
Yeah.
We could if we wanted to do more of that, we could just do some of that and see what we get.
Yeah.
I guess.
All right.
I guess,
Based on the examples you've brought, I don't think that doing more of this is going to be particularly fruitful.
Sure. I did have an idea a while back that's a little bit along the lines of your game show thing, which is called like missing the points. And it's like being like taking shows like Taskmaster and some of the dropout game show type things, or Whose Line Is It Anyway, where the points really aren't that important, but like taking them really seriously as if they're really important, and like maybe sports casting, like, oh, he's up 2 points and
Okay.
that kind of thing,
Okay.
and missing the points or missing the point or missing points or something like that.
But
Could
we would
be-
have to have permission to play the full audio of those things.
Well, we wouldn't. I don't know if we would necessarily do it exactly as a play-by-play, but
I mean, I feel like we would have to be playing a lot of clips for anything that we are saying to make sense.
yeah, I guess that's probably true. That's
So-
probably true. I mean, it could also just be like a talkback show for those kind of podcasts, but we take those kind of game shows. I mean, but we take it too seriously in
Yeah.
terms of the competitive aspect of it, right?
I think you just want to watch more Dropout TV.
I'm not sure that I have time in my day to watch more because we already watch a lot.
Yeah.
It's not too much of an idea, but it's sort of an idea, I guess.
I mean, I think, do you have more ideas this week? Because I'm kind of liking the game show one.
I don't know about the game show one. I just like doesn't feel like there's too much. I mean, I guess we could try it.
Come up with an idea and like try and come up with a host and a name. And I don't know. I think it could be kind of fun.
I mean, I have more ideas, but I guess we could take a look. We could try that and see where we get to, and if we want to change after that, we can. I guess if we don't find there's very much content, I guess.
All right. What is a game show that we could riff off of?
What are like the most popular game shows?
Are you going to Google it?
I am.
I mean, Wheel of Fortune's got to be pretty popular.
The thing that's coming up on Google is maybe based on my things it knows about me or something, because it says QI, which is a panel show, not really a game show. The Traders, I don't know what that is. Taskmaster, which again is a panel show, not really a game show. The Trust, which I also don't know what that is. And then Wheel of Fortune, which apparently has 40 seasons. 47 seasons of The Price is Right. Another thing called The Traders. Family Feud, Jeopardy, Deal or No Deal Island.
Jeopardy is the most watched show in the U.S. apparently.
Most watched game show. Okay, so could we have a version of Jeopardy where, like, instead of having to put it in the answer in the form of a question, you have to put it in some other stupid form? Like you have to all responses must be in the form of
Pig Latin.
must be in Pig Latin. Okay, I was trying to think of some like really complicated, like they have to be in past perfect tense and must be, I don't know, something complicated, subjunctive mood and yeah. Pig Latin.
No, we're not going to go with that idea because it's going to make me feel stupid.
Oh, okay.
Because I am
How
not
about
as much of a grammar nerd as you
all
are.
answers have to be in iambic pentameter.
That is not going to make me feel any less stupid.
Iambic pentameter is easy though. It's just da 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 da.
Yeah.
That's 5
I think
iambs.
if we do that, there's going to be a lot of failures.
It could be like a Shakespeare trivia show or something, I guess. Because most Shakespeare is written in iambic pentameter.
Yeah. No. I like the Pig Latin idea.
Okay, Pig Latin's pretty good. Pig Latin's pretty good.
Because then there's not a limit on like the types of questions you can have.
Why would there be a limit if it was
I
you
mean,
had
if
to
it's
respond
just Shakespeare trivia.
Well, true, but I'm saying in general if it's iambic pentameter.
I don't think that you're going to pique a lot of people's interest if you say the game show where all answers have to be in iambic pentameter. People are going to be like, don't know what that is.
I feel like the idea is to come up with stupid game shows that
Yeah.
are not good though.
Well, it's Pig Latin. Is doing all the answers in Pig Latin a good idea, you think?
Well, I'm saying if people aren't interested in an idea, that doesn't necessarily disqualify the idea.
I think that sounds like a pretentious game show.
Okay.
Am I wrong?
No, I mean,
If you heard that the game show where all answers must be in iambic pentameter, wouldn't you be like, if you were me, who doesn't know what iambic pentameter is until I've met you?
yeah, but that's the funny joke of it because it's dumb and bad, right? Like, imagine somebody gives an answer and somebody's like, "Excuse me, that was only 4 iambs, or that was 6 iambs, or that was 2 iambs, a trochee, and 2 dactyls, or something," right? Like,
See. This is why I don't like this idea. It makes me feel very dumb. I don't know what words you just said, but I don't know them.
a trochee. Okay.
No, don't tell
a
me.
trochee is the opposite of an iamb. It's a da, right? Whereas da is an iamb. The word iamb is a trochee,
Okay.
but the word trochee is also a trochee. Anyway, that's the point is it's
Can
stupid.
you see my eyes glazing
The point
over?
is it's stupid and it would be a dumb idea.
Yeah, it is a dumb idea. I will give you that.
Okay, so Pig Latin.
Pig Latin. Okay, so what kind of trivia questions?
Are there other things that, like, besides declarative statements and questions, like it has to be, your answer has to be in the form of like an adjective or like a, I don't know, you have to yell it, I guess. Like,
What if
wow.
actually, let's do it's Pig Latin, but also you have to scream it.
Yeah.
Okay, what about the categories?
Okay, what about this? Pig Latin is good. This is, I think, actually maybe a fun idea. What if your answer has to be in the form of how Doge memes are? So you have to say like, wow, such something,
No.
Very, no?
No.
Those are fun though.
I mean, that's fun, but I like Pig Latin better.
Okay, fine.
But you have to scream it. Okay.
You have to be yelling.
You
in
have to
Pig
be
Latin.
yelling. Like, so we'll have a guy there to like check the decibels.
Okay, so it has to be loud
Yeah.
volume.
Yeah. You got to yell.
And so there'll be some volume cut off that if you didn't say the answer loud enough, you don't get the points.
Yep.
Okay.
I don't know like what that will be because I'm not sure like what 20 decibels versus 30 decibels
Right.
is. But
Yeah.
what about the categories? Like in Jeopardy, you have the category, which is usually like some kind of pun.
The categories are always just potent potables. That's all the categories.
Okay. But what about the like amounts? Are we going to do money amounts or we do something else?
Okay. Is it money or just, I guess it's money.
Yeah. Like, cause in Double Jeopardy, the like,
Yeah. I was thinking, is it money or just points? But I guess it is money. It's like for
Yeah.
$500 or
yeah.
something, right?
So do we want, would
or
like,
no, is it just points? I guess you get the amount of points as money at the end. Is that right? I don't know. I guess I
yeah,
haven't
no, you
watched
get the
Jeopardy
money.
in a while.
The money is the points,
Yeah.
but you get the money
Yeah.
that you got. So we don't want to do that. We can't afford that.
Okay, so you're saying like instead of money, maybe there would be different things you would get. Like for one goldfish.
If we're doing pig Latin, it'll be for like one pig for 200 pigs.
Okay, so the points are you get pigs
I'll
at
take
the end?
potables for 200 pigs.
That's a lot of pigs. You're just gonna be drowning in pigs at the end.
The game show host will be contractually required to say when somebody picks like 500 pigs, they'll be like, "That's a lot of ham,"
Okay. And
or
what
"That's a lot of bacon."
what are we calling this game show?
I thought we would get to that
Okay.
once we've.
What are we calling this podcast idea also? Bad game shows. Or like lame shows.
We might need to put a pin in that one too.
Or like lame shows.
Game Showdown.
Game Showdown. That's not bad, actually. That's pretty good. Okay, so more on our Pig Latin Jeopardy.
Okay, Pig Latin Jeopardy.
I don't know if I like the idea of you're getting 100 pigs or whatever. Because
No, but what if you actually win pigs?
but people at the end have like 50,000 points or whatever, right? So you just
We get like a bunch of like little tiny pink plastic pigs, little very tiny ones, and at the end,
Okay.
like
They
just shower the
like,
winner
at
with
the end.
pigs.
A dump truck comes in and dumps that's full of those pigs. And just
Showers
dumps it
you
on
with,
them.
with little tiny pink pigs.
Okay, interesting. That's fun, I guess.
And you're really excited about it.
Contractually
Just, like,
obligated.
Contractually, yeah.
Yeah.
Contestants that we recruit for this have to be like the most excited about that.
Well, I was thinking it could be fun if the things that you're getting are not money or individual things, but like different specific things that you may or may not actually want. Like if you get this question right, you get a pet goldfish.
Okay.
And you have to take care of it if you get that, or
Okay, I like that.
Or if you get this question right, you get like I don't know.
200 toasters.
Yeah, a bunch of toasters or something, or broken. You get like 5
200
broken toasters.
200 toasters would be a good name for the game show, actually.
200 toasters.
200 toasters.
Yeah, okay.
Because I'm just thinking of something that you
Except
wouldn't.
for,
I'm
would it
thinking of
be-
things that you wouldn't want a lot
Except
of.
it would be ute, undredhe, osterste.
No, because the questions and categories don't have to be in Pig Latin. Just the answers.
But the name you would think, no?
We could call it 200 pigs
200
as
pigs.
a nod to the Pig Latin.
I like 200 toasters better than pigs because toasters
200
are a thing you could actually get as a
200 toasters just has a nice ring to
Yeah,
it.
it does. I feel like the Pig Latin doesn't feel very integrated with the rest of the idea, I guess.
That's fine. That's okay. Well, no, it is because you get showered with little tiny pink plastic pigs at the end of the episode.
Oh, even if you won the toasters instead or whatever?
Yeah, I think we have to keep the little tiny pink plastic pigs.
I don't know.
We can't
about
shower anybody with toasters.
No, you don't. There's not usually any showering in Jeopardy as far as I'm aware. I mean, they probably
we're
shower
fixing
beforehand.
Jeopardy. We're fixing Jeopardy.
We're fixing Jeopardy. Seems fixed.
I mean, I'm willing to like work with you on a lot of the like ideas that we come up with, but I think that I feel pretty strongly about the little tiny pink plastic
Having
pigs.
be showered with tiny plastic pink pigs.
Yeah.
Are they Latin pigs in some way?
We could
Or what's Latin for pig?
I don't know.
I don't recall. I'm gonna Google it.
Could we put them in little like
Porcus. Porcus, that's pretty good. So you're getting showered in little
So that's what the
porcus.
game show host
little
says
pork
at the
eye or
end when
whatever.
the winner gets showered with the baby pigs, the little tiny baby pigs.
Mm-hmm.
He says, "Wow, that's a lot of porcus."
Or I feel like they just chant porcus, porcus, porcus.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. What kind of categories would we have? So we've got 200 toasters.
That's the
what's something
reward, right? Not the category.
That's that's the reward is what I meant. So
Okay.
the rankings for the categories. So like, what's some other things that you wouldn't really want?
I guess I feel like it should be household objects for some reason. It feels like, but like bad ones or weird ones or
Yeah.
like maybe
One
like
fork.
a suitcase full of forks
A suitcase full of forks.
or a suitcase full of forks and
so
marbles.
they don't all have to be numbers.
Right.
It could just be like a suitcase full of forks.
And marbles because that's a Taskmaster thing.
Yeah. Okay.
A suitcase full of forks and marbles. Could be like
A hat full of snakes.
that common household object. I feel like household snakes starts to get to a weird ethical territory.
They could be rubber snakes.
Okay, I was gonna say giving someone a goldfish is already a little questionable because that goldfish is probably gonna die. I mean,
It could be
everyone's gonna
plastic
die,
goldfish too.
Well, but then it's not very particularly bad to get.
2 tanks full of sea monkeys.
Okay.
No one's gonna be mad about you killing brine
What about
shrimp.
just some like really ugly curtains or something or like curtains that say like, I don't know, offensive words on them or something that your neighbors can see, or just have like, I don't know, something like
3 sets of obscene curtains.
yeah, something like that maybe. So
2 broken chairs.
So it's a little bit, I mean, I feel like 2 broken chairs. I feel like maybe some of the prizes should be something you might actually want.
Yeah.
And so it'll be like, should I try to get this answer wrong because I don't want to get a bunch of toasters?
Yeah.
Or should I really try to get this one right because I do want, it's just like $100 or something. Or
Yeah.
no, it shouldn't be money. It
So
should
are
be,
we gonna just assume that we have infinite funding for this game? I think that will be more fun.
yeah, I guess so. Or
Okay.
maybe not infinite funding, but
But like
a decent
enough
amount.
money to like come up with like some decent prizes and some not so decent prizes.
yeah. I feel like 200
trick-
toasters might be too many, but
Well,
because
that's why that's one of the really hard questions.
right, but nobody wants 200
You
toasters.
could probably sell them.
Yeah, but that's still a lot of work, and I don't know how much profit you would make even selling. I mean, obviously, if you're a store that sells toasters,
What
you're
if?
set up for that. But
Oh, wait, okay, so we have to have incentive for people to win the things that they don't want to win.
okay,
So what if the number of points correlates to the number of the thing? So if you get the 200 toasters question right, you get 200 toasters, but also 200 points.
and then, but what do you get for having the most points at the end?
you win.
Just the porpoise situation?
You win all of the pigs. No, I think you have to win to take home the items that you've racked up.
Right, but if you win by getting 200 toasters, but you don't want to get 200 toasters, the incentive is kind of mixed.
Well, but what if like you also racked up like one fancy camera,
Yeah,
right? You only get 1 point for that.
right.
So why but you want the camera.
Okay, there
You
is
don't want the
something.
toasters, but you need the toasters to get the camera.
Yeah, there is something to this. Like getting a lot of crappy things versus 1 or 2 good things. You still want to get the good things, so you'll suffer taking the crappy things.
Right. Yeah, because we've got to have an incentive, right?
And you also maybe at the end, instead of just getting the pigs dumped on you, you have to dig the prizes out of the pig, like a pile of the pigs.
Oh, I love that.
And the amount of pigs is how many points you got,
Okay.
or maybe multiplied by 10 or something.
Yeah, we'd probably have to multiply it if we're going to do little tiny pigs.
Yeah.
It's going to take a lot of pigs.
Or maybe we just have a standard amount of pigs you win, I guess.
Yeah.
Standard amount of porpoise.
Yeah.
Is pig
A
Latin?
standard amount of porpoise is the thing you just said.
It is. It is. Is pig Latin good? I guess it's fun. I don't know. Like, would it just be annoying after a while?
All of this will be annoying.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
I think it'd be really funny to watch people struggle to, because nobody like fluently speaks pig Latin. You always have to
Right.
think about
You have to
it.
think about it, right? Okay, so what kind of questions are we going to have on our 200 toasters show?
Okay, yeah. So
It's not called like porpoise or porpoise something porpoise. That could be something to think about.
Yeah.
For the game show.
I mean, I
itself.
agree. Like it would make more sense, but I also just really like 200 toasters.
Porpoise Latine or something.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, I just really like the ring of 200 toasters.
200
though,
toasters
but we can
does
come
sound
back
good.
to it.
It does sound like I don't know, a British panel show actually, kind of, or something.
Yeah.
Like isn't there like 8 out of 10 cats or something? is like a British show. I
Is
think.
it?
Something like
I
that.
don't think I know of that.
Yeah, I think
know
it's
about that
Jimmy
one.
Carr maybe. Okay,
yeah, I'm
but so what kind of questions would we have? Would they be basic trivia? Like, would they actually be like trivia questions? Would they be like?
Yeah. And would they be related to, do we really want all the categories to be potent potables?
I don't actually know what they usually ask in potent potables. I mean, potent potables are like strong drinks, right?
Yeah, but that's not usually what they.
I don't know what they actually usually ask about.
Oh, okay. Actually, yeah, it is alcohol questions. So, yeah, so probably not that. We probably don't want all of our categories to be about alcohol.
No, probably not.
Although I did think it was funny.
Yeah. Well, it would also
But I
be
think
very
we would-
silly to have a bunch of things put into categories, but then all the categories are the same.
Yeah.
It wouldn't really make a lot of sense.
Yeah. So we come up with categories, and then do we want like the thing to be related to the question? Like if it's 200 toasters, is it going to be a question about bread or
toasters
something?
or how bread like
Yeah.
or maybe it's not like, because there's different kinds of game show questions, right? There's questions that are, do you know about a thing? And there are other ones where it's like, can you estimate something based like, you know, like on The Price is Right, you have to like use the knowledge you have to sort of try to guess the price of stuff, right?
Yeah.
So this could be like, how much do 200 toasters weigh?
Yeah.
And whoever gets closest wins that point or something like that.
Yeah.
Or wins those 200 points.
Yeah.
Or without going 200 closest without going over, I guess, if we
Yeah.
want Price is Right rules.
I mean, and that doesn't have to be like, but that's just an example for that specific question.
Right. It could just be like, or like how much space does 1,000 sea monkeys take up? Like
Yeah.
what volume or something like that, right?
But I mean, they don't all have to be that format. It could
Right,
just
but
be
it could be-
trivia about sea monkeys or something, right?
It could be, I
Like,
guess.
I think varying it would be fun. Yeah,
Yeah.
varying it like that would be fun. So that like the thing that you pick is a clue to like what kind of question you're gonna get.
Okay.
So we don't have to have categories.
Yeah, we
because
don't-
like the things are the categories, right?
Right. And so you would see, what would you see up on the board that you're picking? Would it be like a picture of 200 toasters, or would it be like just say 200 toasters, or I don't know, something like that? Like, would it be?
Yeah. I think you would just be like, I'll take 200 toasters.
Okay. It wouldn't be like, I'll take toasters for 200.
Yeah, no, you'll
Yeah.
say, I'll take 200 toasters because you're going to take that thing,
'Cause that-
right?
you'll
Like,
get
I'll
that
take
thing.
one fork.
Right. Or a suitcase full of forks
I'll
and
take
marbles.
a suitcase full of forks. And that way, like you're forced to say like you're forced to like really think about your decision about taking this thing.
Yeah.
I'm going to take 200 toasters, and you can see like the regret in their eyes.
Okay.
Who would
What-
host our show?
Are we picking from like current game show hosts?
No, I think we could just pick from famous people.
Famous people in general?
Yeah, famous people in general. Like, what kind of host do we want for this show? Like, someone's like
Somebody
serious.
Goofy. Somebody goofy. Well,
Serious could be kind of fun
I feel like they have to be.
because everything's really ridiculous on the show. So, like,
Yeah, but I feel like a funny host could make it better just by like riffing off of, oh, really? You're picking 200 toasters.
Could-
What are you going to do
I mean,
with all those toasters?
I mean, if we're coming down to it, like, I really just want Greg Davies to host it because
Yeah.
he's going to be judging everybody for
That's
their
true. He would be
decisions.
good. For some reason, Stephen Merchant popped into my mind.
That
would
could be
kind
good
of
too.
fun.
Yeah.
Or
I
also,
feel like it should be somebody British.
maybe. I was also thinking Greg Proops could be fun. Do you remember him?
Yeah, I saw him live once.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if he's still doing stuff or whatever.
Yeah, he
but
could be fun. He's got that judgy vibe, I think.
yeah, a little bit. And it's sort of a game show host vibe.
Yeah.
I don't know if he actually has been a game show host or not, but you feel like he has a little bit of that vibe.
Yeah. I don't think he has. I was thinking maybe he had, but then I realized that I was thinking of Drew Carey.
Well, right. Drew Carey did Whose Line Is It Anyway?
Yeah.
Which Greg Proops was on.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why I was making that connection.
Yeah. Actually, was Greg Proops on I think he was on the British version, though. Maybe. Not that important, I guess. What about good prizes? What are good prizes? Like, I feel like the good prizes should still be a little silly, maybe, or fun in some way.
A pink Corvette.
A pink Corvette, okay.
Because we said infinite budget, right?
Yeah,
So
sure.
we could do whatever we want because it's our.
I mean, Jeopardy
made up game show.
you can win like $100,000 on Jeopardy or whatever, right? So
Yeah.
obviously they have a budget that could include a car.
Yeah.
Right. I don't know how much pink Corvettes are, but there aren't too many cars that are more than $100,000. I feel like.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
I mean, there are.
I've never
some,
looked into
but
buying a Corvette because I don't particularly want a Corvette.
No, I would drive a pink Corvette.
but a
Though.
pink Corvette.
Like especially if it's like a Stingray, that'd be cool.
Yeah. I don't know what that is.
They're like sort of the curvier looking Corvettes.
Okay. You want a Corvette with curves?
Well, I mean, they're just kind of cooler looking.
Real
They're-
Corvettes have curves.
yeah, I guess.
I mean, we could do like vacations.
Vacations.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Like a trip to Hawaii, but we like booked you into like do something really silly.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. What
So
would
so
silly
even the
thing
good
be,
prizes in some so yeah, we could have prizes that are just good, prizes that are good and bad, like your a trip to Hawaii but you have to be dressed as a clown the whole time.
No.
Or something. I don't know. I don't know how they would enforce that, but
Yeah, I don't know how you would enforce that either.
something silly like that maybe, and then like the prizes you don't really want, but
Yeah.
I mean, I guess 200 toasters is a little bit good in that it is a value. What if they're 200 broken toasters, though?
Oh, no. No, because you got to at least be able to sell the toasters.
Well, yeah, otherwise you're just like throwing out a lot
Or
of
maybe you're
toasters.
just giving all your friends toasters and hopefully you have a lot of friends.
Yeah, every year for Christmas you're getting a toaster. Everyone I know is getting a toaster every year for Christmas and their birthday.
You got me a toaster last year, but
Yeah, but now you have
this
two
is a
toasters.
new toaster.
This is a
The
different
same
toaster.
as the old toaster. Nope. It's physically its own toaster.
That's true. Okay, so are we good?
You can make toast in all your rooms. That's the dream.
I feel like this 200 toasters idea is a pretty good idea. Do we want to riff on any other game show ideas that aren't just based on like a Jeopardy riff
We could, but are we set on our host?
for this game?
Yeah.
I would be fine with any of the people we said.
Okay.
I feel like Greg Proops is who seems the best to me, but
Because I mean, like, I know Greg Davies is already hosting a show,
Yeah.
but like,
I mean, Greg Davis is great too.
yeah.
But
I really want.
I don't
him.
know if I want just the Taskmaster again, right? Like the same character from him.
I mean, I think he'd come up with. I mean, his character is just Greg Davies, right? Like
Well,
that's just Greg Davies.
No, I mean he's a little different off
yeah.
that show. He's more judgmental and like, I don't know, quick to judge and quick to like he's the authority and stuff. I don't
Yeah.
know. So yeah, I'm not saying he couldn't come up with another character. I'm just saying like it seems like you want him to be the Taskmaster again, basically.
Yeah. Is that anything wrong with that?
I don't know. I guess it's fine. Anyway, are there other game shows we want to riff on besides just Jeopardy before we wrap up?
I mean, we haven't talked about Double Jeopardy. Like, what would be the equivalent of Double Jeopardy on 200 toasters? 400 toasters?
Well, Double Jeopardy is a specific question, right? Like it doesn't just double a different question.
Yeah, I know. So, like, you hit the thing and it's like,
I guess that's true. If it said 200 toasters, but it was Double Jeopardy, it would then be 400 toasters. Yeah.
well, yeah. So, does
Or-
it change every time? Or was it just like you choose a question and it's like, oh, 400 toasters?
Or is it just like
You thought you were getting one fork.
I mean, it could be like vibes of, well, if you thought you were getting one fork, you would just get two forks. I
No,
feel
you
like.
would get 400 toasters because the title of the show is 200
So
toasters.
every time it's Double Jeopardy, it's actually 400 toasters.
Yeah.
I
Because
feel like
there's
we're
only
going
one
to go
per
through our
round.
budget a lot with all these toasters we're buying.
We had already decided we have
We're
infinite
giving out,
budget.
well, but we're going to go through a lot of toasters. How do we even source this many
we're
toasters?
gonna find like a really good toaster guy.
I guess so.
Like
That's fine.
I do
guess.
like the terror that like could be like that the fear that strikes in your heart at the thought that like any moment you could accidentally win 400 toasters.
Right, but it could also, instead of just being always 400 toasters, it could be like you thought you were getting one fork, but actually you're getting a fork with a fork on both sides of the fork, right? Like doubled vibes, not necessarily just two forks.
So your idea for Double Jeopardy is to call it wrong fork,
I hadn't considered, well,
or you want to call it double fork.
or we can call it 400 toasters, but doesn't necessarily have to be actually 400 toasters every time. Because we're
what
calling
if
the
it-
show 200 toasters, and it's not always 200 toasters.
Right. I know. Yeah. But we have to have a name for Double Jeopardy. Like so I
Yeah,
thought
that's what I'm saying. It could be
you
400.
don't have to win for it. Yeah. I guess
It could
that's
still
I
just
guess
be
that's
400
that's
toasters.
what
Yeah.
that's what you're saying.
Yeah.
I mean, it's funnier though if you like at any moment could have to figure out what to do with 400 toasters.
What if it's not 400 toasters, but it's somehow double in a different way? Like it's 200 toasters and 400 pieces of toast, or 400 pieces of bread or something to go in the toasters, or I don't know, like
So but instead of Double Jeopardy, it's double bread.
maybe. Bread for the toasters, it could be called. Toaster bread.
Toaster bread.
Toast. It could just be
Well,
called
I was
toast.
trying to think of like
It could be
using
your
double because we're riffing on Jeopardy.
Yeah, but it could just be your toast. But it would be YOUR toast. But it'd be like a pun.
I see. It's your problem now. It's
Yeah.
your toast now.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah. Okay. Are we what if we just had to like hire some toast guys because we're not actually giving the people bread. We're actually giving them toast. Pre-made toast.
Right, so you can't even use it.
Yeah,
in the toaster,
nobody wants it.
and you can't just eat it. I mean, you can eat it, but like
It's going to be gross.
it's gonna be weird. Does toast keep at all? I've
Cold
never
toast,
tried.
I don't think.
I've never tried to like make toast and then wait a while to eat it.
I mean, it would probably be fine if you waited a little while, but if it's like you've got like 400 slices of toast, there's no way you're eating them in the next 2 hours. I feel like it's not going to keep for like a long time.
Is the toast already like buttered or maybe has jam on it or something?
That's worse.
Right, that's what I'm
Yeah.
saying. Yeah. Or maybe it's random. Some of the toast is buttered, some is not.
Yeah.
But yeah, either way, I don't feel like you could like, even if you had a fridge big enough, you probably couldn't just stick all the toast in there and heat it up somehow later and eat it and it would be good, right? Can you retoast toast?
I mean, it would be extra toasty, right?
Well,
It'd be extra toasty.
if you make toast and then put it in the fridge and then later want it, but you're like, oh, it's all weird or whatever, can you put it in the toaster and have it come out as toast again? I've never tried anything like that.
I've never tried
I have
it.
no idea.
We could try it.
Somebody's
we could do
probably
a toast
tried it.
experiment. I don't think it would be
Do we
as
even
good.
have a toaster right now?
No, actually, I think our toaster gave out, and then we never got another one
'Cause we
because
don't
like
have
we
a lot of
don't
toast,
really
yeah.
make toast.
We don't eat that much bread. really.
Yeah, we don't eat that much bread.
All right. Well, toast questions aside.
I do like your toast.
Yeah, your toast.
Not you are toast.
Right.
It's your toast.
Your
it's your
toast.
problem now.
But also, you are toast.
You are toast, and this is now your toast.
Okay, what if when you answer the question, if you answer it right when it's your toast, somebody else gets the toast, and if you answer it wrong, you get the toast.
Whose problem will the toast be?
Right.
So, but how do you determine? Because normally, like on Jeopardy, there's 3 contestants.
Right.
So the person with the least amount of points ends
Maybe-
up with the toast.
Maybe that would make sense.
Yeah.
Whoever loses the overall game gets the toast.
Yeah. So there's an incentive
So it's
to
like-
at least be in the middle.
Right. So it's like, you've gotten that answer correct and you won't be going home with all this toast. Congratulations. I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know why anybody could want to have that much pre-toasted toast.
I don't know why anybody would want any pre-toasted toast.
Well, I mean, if I woke up in the morning and there was some toast made for me, I wouldn't be mad about it.
Right. But that's like.
But if I woke up in the morning and the kitchen was full of 400 pieces of toast, I have no idea how much space that would even take up. If it would be more than I think, or just like not that much.
I feel like you couldn't even go through that much just like regular bread before it's gonna go bad. I mean, I guess if you got a good like a bunch of freezers.
If you toasted it and then I guess kept it dry, it wouldn't.
Own a restaurant.
Right. I guess if you're a restaurateur or whatever, and you, if the people making if we know the contestant owns a restaurant, they're stricken from the contestant pool.
Okay.
But if they can hide somehow that they're restaurateurs, then that could work out for them.
So our ad will say contestants needed, restaurateurs need not apply.
Yes, exactly.
No chefs.
No bread weirdos.
No bread weird.
No bread perverts.
They might argue that we are the bread perverts.
No, because it's bad.
It's bad.
Yeah, because it's bad. It's a punishment.
Yeah, I just mean they might argue that we are the bread perverts and this whole show is just to get our rocks off. Because it is very toast centric.
Who is arguing about this with whom?
The restaurateur who wants to be on our show.
Yeah, but we don't have to listen to his arguments or her arguments. We can just say that, too bad you're not on our show. And we think you're the bread pervert,
Suck it, Jeff. Get out of here.
Get out of here, Jeff. Or Jeffalina. The female version of Jeff.
Right. I don't think that's correct.
Pretty sure.
Jeffalina.
Okay, but for real though, do we want to consider any other game shows to riff on just as a proof of concept for this podcast.
I mean, we could, I suppose, but I mean, I think we've already like perfected an idea.
Right. But it's a podcast that every episode we have to perfect a new idea, right?
Yeah. Okay. So, Family Feud.
Family Feud. Okay. It could be like, can you guess something that nobody has said? Well, that'd be
a lot of things.
It'd be too easy, probably.
Yeah.
Can you guess something that only 3 people said? Or something.
Every time
you
you
surveyed
just have to
100
be like,
people, and whoever gets closest to the one that only 3 people said.
what if like what if there isn't one that only 3 people said? Do we throw out those surveys?
Probably.
Or do we just try and find a third guy?
Yeah, maybe we just try to find a third guy and we cut out other ones. Whatever.
Yeah.
Or we could just make the whole thing up, I guess. But
will it be families or will it be some other
it should
cult
be like
feud?
Cult feud?
Cult feud.
Okay, so it's like
cults.
a cult.
We invite cults on our show.
Interesting. That
Cults are just real big dysfunctional families.
Yeah, that could be a pretty weird vibe for a show.
I mean, I'd watch it.
And I don't know that you might have trouble getting people to agree to be on a show because most people in cults don't identify as being in a cult, right?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
you don't usually consider your own thing a cult.
We had to like interview people without telling them the name of the show. They're just interviewing to be on an exciting new game show.
Yeah, I feel like you say the name of the show as at some point they're gonna find out.
Well, they've already signed a contract saying they won't walk off set.
I don't think that's enforceable as a contract. But we could call it like, I don't know, spiritual feud, or I don't know, like we could make like some kind of,
cult reference that maybe they wouldn't immediately take offense to.
Some kind of euphemism, I guess, maybe. Are there other units that could be good? What about like coworker feud? You're like with a bunch of coworkers you don't even like.
Oh.
Could be funny.
Yeah, that could be funny. I was just thinking about having to do that. That would be terrible.
Or like, what if it's like we go to a bunch of random bus stops and everybody at the bus stop is a family? Like is the group that's like working together. Yeah.
Bus stop feud.
Or something like that. Just like, I like the idea of like random people who probably don't even like each other being the quote unquote family.
Yeah.
Or like people in line for something, maybe.
Yeah.
People in line at the DMV.
I feel like Family Feud's a little bit like, I said it, but now I'm thinking it's a little bit hard to riff on. Like, they could just throw random people together. That could be kind of funny. Cults could be kind of funny. But like, I don't really know if there's a way to like change the core of the show.
Yeah. To be honest, it's been a long time since I've watched Family Feud, and I don't remember if there's more to it than just like survey says.
There isn't.
Yeah.
I mean, there's like a head-to-head
part or something,
yeah,
right? And
but
I don't remember how that works.
It's the same thing every time. It's the survey says.
It's still the survey says thing.
What about Wheel of Fortune?
So obviously we could have you spin the wheel and sometimes you get good stuff and sometimes you get bad stuff, which I guess is already true on Wheel of Fortune.
Yeah.
But
it could be more so.
It doesn't have to be money.
Like maybe you're about to solve the puzzle, but you just landed on 500 ferrets and you're like, I don't want that.
Yeah. Again, I think it's probably dubious ethically to give someone 500 animals, to force someone to take 500 animals of any kind.
Really, just
maybe
like the
bugs or
idea
something.
of saddling someone with 500 ferrets, because like one ferret is a lot of work.
Yeah. Right. But the real world thing is the bummer, right? Because those ferrets would just get neglected probably.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's, it is funny.
I just said the first thing that popped into my head, to be honest.
What if you didn't have to take the ferrets home, but we just filled your pants with ferrets for a few minutes or something?
So part of the stipulation of
ethical,
coming on the show
way.
is you've got to wear big pants.
Yeah. We issue everyone big pants.
How big
or
do
maybe,
your pants have to be to fit 500 ferrets?
Well, you wouldn't. There's no pants that could fit 500 ferrets, but 10 ferrets would be plenty.
That's where I was going.
10 ferrets would be plenty, really, right? 10 hungry ferrets.
Oh.
We issue you pants.
So they're going to like try and eat you when you stick them in... You stick them in the pants hungry?
So
that seems like it could be a liability for us.
It's not the pants you wear in. if you roll that 500 weasels or 10 weasels or whatever, ferrets, weasels, whatever, then you go to a spot on the stage where we have set up some special pants that you have to get into that are like big clown pants. and then we dump some ferrets in.
Or weasels.
Or weasels or badgers maybe.
Badgers could definitely be dangerous.
Yeah, that's true. Maybe you do have to wear like chainmail underwear or something.
So we're fine with their like legs getting all clawed up.
Maybe
we'll protect the important bits.
Okay. The ferrets have mittens on.
Who is putting the mittens on the ferrets?
Okay, this is all maybe a little bit ethically dubious, but I feel like it's slightly
Can we
better.
hire someone to make little tiny ferret mittens?
We have trained ferrets that are
making the ferret mittens.
Yes, we train the ferrets to make their own mittens, and then we train them.
Step 1. Step 4, profit.
Yes. Okay, what actually do you normally? How does Wheel of Fortune work? You have a clue or whatever, right? You have a phrase you have to come up with.
No. You've never watched Wheel of Fortune?
No, I have, but not in a while.
Okay, so
there's a phrase and you have to say what it is by uncovering letters or whatever.
Yes, but sometimes you don't like one, even if you know it, you may want to keep going because you win more money that way. Because every time you spin the wheel, you land on a dollar amount. You guess a letter, and if the letter is in there, you get to pick up that dollar amount you just spun. So say it landed on $700, now you've earned $700 because you guessed.
Because there was an E in there or whatever.
Yeah. So it's like this balancing act because like you want to part of you wants to guess it as soon as you know it, so somebody else doesn't guess it.
What happens when you guess it? What do you get? Do you get the new car or whatever?
I think you...
Is there like a big prize or something?
I think you like... Yeah, I'm not sure. I think there's a monetary value that you get when you like maybe solve the puzzle. I don't remember exactly.
Okay.
But like, yeah, so it's this balancing act because you want to get as much money as possible.
Right. If you guess it right away, you only get the $700 or
right.
whatever. Yeah.
But you want to you don't want to leave it so that somebody else gets it.
Do you guess the letter before you roll or after you spin or after you spin?
You spin and then guess.
Okay. So like, if it landed on weasels, you could guess like Z or something to try to not get the prize.
Yeah.
If you think there's no Z's or whatever.
I guess that's true.
Or you could say are there any question marks in there or something?
Well, no, generally there's no punctuation.
I know, but this is a stupid show. It could have stupid rules like
it would have stupid rules.
You could just guess like the upside down exclamation point in Spanish.
So if you go to solve the puzzle and you don't go up at the end, we don't give it to you. You didn't say it as a question. There's a question mark there.
Right. You're saying we integrate punctuation and we have rules based on that you have to pronounce it in the right way.
No, I'm sorry, you didn't do bunny rabbit ears.
Right.
Yeah.
The problem with that is then like other people just immediately know for sure what the answer is and can do it, right? Is that a problem? Maybe that's not a problem. They still have to
Maybe
spin.
we don't specify. We're just like, something's missing.
Maybe.
I'd be like, that's close, but not quite. Maybe we shouldn't integrate punctuation.
Yeah. I still think
but then I guess it makes it more stupid, so.
Yeah. We could integrate punctuation and you don't have to say it as a question if there's a question mark, but you do have to guess question mark at some point if there's a question mark in it, or a comma or whatever, or a semicolon or something.
That sucks. What a terrible game show that says. I guess that's what we're going for.
Yeah, that's what I thought we were doing.
Who's hosting this?
It's still Pat Sajak. Actually, it's Vanna White.
She deserves it, honestly.
Yeah.
She deserves it.
And Pat Sajak is in a dress pointing at the board.
Pat Sajak doesn't deserve to be involved, I don't think.
Is he bad? I
think
he's
he's
not
bad,
I
isn't
thought
he?
he was okay. I feel like
I know Vanna White was treated pretty shittily.
Yeah, I feel like Pat Sajak. Maybe I don't know.
Is Pat Sajak still alive?
I think so. I guess we'll find out.
Let me check.
I'm pretty sure he is, but if he isn't, that's kind of better because then we can use like one of those
It's been a crazy
CGI
few
corpse
years,
puppets instead.
Yeah, he is still alive. He is 77 and no longer hosting Wheel of Fortune, I don't think.
I feel
we
like
could do a Pat Sajak robot.
Robot Pat Sajak is pretty
Robot
good,
Pat
actually.
Sajak.
Yeah. Piloted by Vanna White.
Yeah.
I don't know.
She's just off to the side.
She's
with
just
a
got like a
little
remote control
remote
or
control,
something.
yep.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
That doesn't make any sense.
And then
but
do we
that's fine.
hire somebody separate to like spin the letters? If Vanna White gets to control the Pat Sajak robot, who is spinning the letters?
Oh, do people not spin them themselves? I thought she just point. Oh, the point spins the letters, not the spinner.
Yeah.
Right.
Turns the letters.
It could be digital. It doesn't. Nobody.
No,
needs to spin the
I think we
letters.
should have somebody. Let's
Do
see.
they even actually spin?
Yeah.
I feel like.
I mean, they turn.
I feel like she like pokes it and it changes or something.
Nope, she turns it.
Well,
I
maybe-
watched a lot of Wheel of Fortune.
It would not be difficult to automate. I guess is what
It would
I'm
not be
saying.
difficult to automate, but like you got to have somebody in a fancy dress. So
Right. And we've said no to Pat Sajak,
we've said no to Pat Sajak because he's 77, which is why we're using a Pat Sajak
which means he could
robot.
run for president.
He could. He could run
That's
for
how old
president.
Donald Trump is, I think, right?
Yes, isn't he? Or 78? I don't know.
It's one of those.
Yeah.
But anyway,
But who to have turn the letters? Maybe
Carrot Top.
No.
it should be Carrot Top.
No.
And he does it with like a weird prop or something. How about Gallagher's brother, Gallagher? He hits it with a hammer.
I'm just trying to think of somebody like equally glamorous.
As Carrot Top.
No. Like Lady Gaga. Or
Why
like-
would she ever take
she
this
wouldn't
job?
do it. She wouldn't do it, but it's our
You
show.
need
we
somebody
can pick.
sufficiently glamorous who would also have any reason to
We have
ever
an
do it.
infinite budget. But my second choice
Howie Mandel.
would be not Howie Mandel. No.
Howie Mandel, but from the
Who's
80s.
Pedro Pascal's sister?
Oh, I don't know. Is his sister famous?
Lux Pascal
Lux Pascal.
is his sister.
That's Pedro Pascal's sister.
Yeah,
I don't know anything about her.
She's trans and pretty glamorous and
Yeah, she's
like
pretty.
not famous enough that she would feel like she would be like maybe not quite as hard to get as Lady Gaga.
Maybe not. Yeah. Okay. Sure. Well, should we wrap it up there?
Yeah.
Do
I
our
guess.
social media stuff?
You can follow us on social media. You can find all of our links at coolpodcast.website. You can email us at what@coolpodcast.website. Please send us your ideas. We want to hear them. We want to give you a shout out. There are also Spotify questions weekly, so you can answer those. And
Yes.
we will give you a shout out.
Yeah. Speaking of which,
Oh, did we get some questions this week?
we got a couple of answers over the last.
Or I mean
little
answers,
while.
not questions. You can send us questions too, though.
Sure, I suppose
We may or may not have answers for you.
I think the main one that we got was for our last episode, Chickens Are Dogs. On Spotify, I asked, are bananas cats or dogs? And Sarah answers, and I assume that's my sister Sarah, probably. Hi, Sarah. Cat. It sits on the counter just eyeing you, and then you finally open it, and sometimes it's so good, and then other times it's all bruised and crap inside, and you have to throw it away.
Don't throw your cats away.
Or don't open your cats either.
Don't open your cats. But I get this that sometimes cats are rotten and sometimes they're delicious.
Yeah, and the sitting on the counter part makes sense too.
Yes, that's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
So thanks, Sarah, for that response.
If that was not from Miles' sister Sarah, then welcome, new Sarah.
Welcome, other Sarah.
Welcome, other Sarah. Please invite all the Sarahs.
All the Sarahs you know.
All the Sarahs you know. Tell all the Sarahs you know about our podcast.
All right, were we done with the social media stuff?
I think so.
Okay.
Forever.
Please send us ideas.
We're done
That's
with
the main
social
thing.
media. We're done with it.
Oh, that's fair. That's fair. All right. Welcome to What Should Our Outro Be About? The outro where we try to figure out what this outro that you're listening to right now should be about. I'm still here.
Nah, I'm also still here.
Okay, so the only idea that I have is the same as my earlier idea, which is have auto suggest help us figure out what our outro should be about. And I do have some examples.
Okay. Are they better than your last examples?
Define better. Does it mean the same? Because if
No.
so, then yes, it's
No.
better.
No, it does not.
I'll tell you the first one and then we can decide if we want to keep. I got 4 of them and you could do one maybe or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
It says our podcast outro should be about how the world has gone downhill since we started this podcast. That's what it said.
Since we started this episode of the podcast?
This podcast.
Or just our podcast?
Since May or whatever of last year or whatever it was. That's what autosuggest thinks. Do you have other ideas?
We both do our best Pat Sajak impression.
I have no idea how to do a Pat Sajak impression.
Neither do I. We both do our best Pat Sajak robot impression.
I am a robot, and also I'm Pat Sajak, so I sound like a robot. But you can tell I'm Pat Sajak, the robot.
No, I am Pat Sajak, the robot.
Pat Sajak's consciousness has been embedded in many robots and Cybermen and stuff like that.
We only know how to be Cybermen.
I mean, that's the robot voice.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
The Dalek voice is just the robot voice, but more high pitched, right?
Like it's like a screaming evil. Like
I am the Pat Sajak robot.
Pat Sajak will be exterminated.
So there it is. That's the outro.
Do you want to hear my other ones?
Yes.
And I guess we can have both of these for the outro. Our outro should be about why people don't like to listen to us.
Go back about 10 seconds. I think we might have the answer to that.
Our outro should be about our future in the future and not the past.
Okay.
And this one, I guess, is my favorite. Our outro should be more like a song about a girl who gets pregnant with a baby butterfly.
Auto Suggest gave you this?
Uh-huh.
What?
I don't know.
It's what?
That's what it came up with.
What are you Googling?
Pregnant butterflies?
Oh, is it because you've
know.
Googled how girl get pregnant so many times?
Maybe. All right. Well, I guess that's the podcast. No, you should do one. You do one. Here.
I do one?
You
An
do
auto
one.
suggest?
Yeah, you do an auto suggest. Do it on your phone so it'll have your kind of history or
I
whatever.
just start typing.
Yeah, get into whatever app. I'm doing it in OneNote, but you can do it whatever app probably.
Oh, I shouldn't just go to Google.
No, I'm just doing it in OneNote. I'm getting my phone suggestions, not like Google suggestions.
I see. Okay. So I got our podcast outro should be about how the world works in terms of our own lives and our future lives in the future.
But not our past lives in the future.
Not our past
or our
lives
future
in the
lives in the
future.
past.
What is a past life in the future, but a future life in the future?
Depends on how far in the past it was. Or are we talking about past lives in like reincarnation sense?
I mean, I was thinking reincarnation.
But then a future life is a life we haven't had
It's the
yet.
current. It's our current life.
No,
Our current life is our future life's past life.
no,
yeah.
not
Did I
really.
just blow your
Not
mind?
if we're talking about reincarnation. If we're talking about reincarnation.
Yeah, if we're talking about reincarnation.
So you're saying we wait the podcast should be about our future life. Okay, I'm lost now. So okay, sure.
Our outro is very confusing.
Our outro should be about a weird time travel reincarnation situation.
All right.
All right.
Well,
So thank you for listening.
especially thank you for listening to all of that.
We are sorry and we won't do better next time. Bye.
What was that podcast about? I'm trying to figure it out. Didn't catch what that was about.